Recording in.
All right, welcome to my Harriet practice. Another Sunday session. Today we started with Wade in the Water by Sweet Honey in the Rock, which obviously is not on the recording because then when we put it on YouTube, it gets taken down. But I wanted to start with that song. That's a song we sing in this practice, the refrain of it, Wade in the Water a lot. And really just opening up with that energy of like, throw yourself into the river. Like, let's really, get into it a little bit today. There, everything we do today is opt in, opt out. Please feel free to take care of yourself, move, be still, lie down, do whatever really your body is asking you to do, your spirit is moving you to do. The practice today, regardless of what specific thing we're doing, is really just coming home to what we need right now in order to be in this body and move towards liberation together, collective liberation. And so we work with energies like Harriet Tubman, Ma Harriet, folks who have so clearly understood that they are free, right? In that way that changes worlds, right? To be born enslaved on a plantation and disabled, ill, worked almost to death, and still be clear enough about what you deserve that you not only leave, liberate yourself, but you come back again and again to liberate others, to shine your freedom brightly enough so that they can believe that they're free too and they can start to move into that freedom. And so today in our practice, we're just going to do what we always do, practice opening up to what that feels like. What do we mean when we say phrases like, may all beings be free, right? Are we clear about that? And it's okay if we're not. It's a fluid thing, but we start to unravel a little bit and see if we can draw on some ancestral help, some, protective help from those who have come before, and perhaps those in, non-human ancestors, like the trees, the land, the waters, things like that, to really fortify ourselves for what's to come and for what's already here, right? For these systems of oppression and carcerality that surround us, that we're born into, how can we be resourced in a time like this in order to create new worlds, dream communities up together that are more loving, more understanding? On my heart, particularly this week, Lebanon, always Palestine, the Congo, Sudan, everywhere experiencing bombing, genocide, injustice, oppression, the oppression at our doorstep. When we live in the imperial core like this, to speak to my experience, I know if you're watching the recording or perhaps where you are, there's folks who don't actually live in the States and who are from all over. But today, speaking from my context, if being born in this imperial core, what is there to do? Right? How do we practice in a way that is liberatory and is not trapping me back into those same systems of capital and separation and domination, right? Even the kind of mindfulness landscape of the states can get really individualistic. And while like self-care on an individualistic level seems like, oh, how could this harm anybody? I'm just caring for me. When we're doing self-care that's not intrinsically tied to communal care, we're really just further separating ourselves from those like interdependent ties around us. And so today, I always start with just a little context, a little what's on my heart, and then we move into practice. Today, I invite us to sit with that, maybe discomfort, overwhelm, tension, maybe just open acceptance of the world around me is dying in many ways. Various systems around me are going through deaths. And we're sitting at a moment of birth, right? From death comes birth. What will we help, doula into this world? What parts of our grief are asking us to like midwife them into love again? What can we do to help facilitate the birthing of new worlds, of new systems? And new, not as in, the first, like a brand new thing, everything's kind of being recycled, but new as in remembrance, as in remembering this isn't the way we always were. There are other ways to be. Even imperialism and empire are relatively new in the time span of the universe. There are other ways to be. There are other ways to connect and to integrate into our surroundings. And so, enough from me today. We'll dive into practice a little. But I think it's nice to just share with you where I'm at every week, what context I'm bringing to this container as well. And then we get to hear from y'all at the end too, if you'd like to. But we'll begin with just a little breath, before we'll start with a box breath that I'll lead. Everything will be led. You'll have it either written down or it'll be in the chat for virtual folks. But we'll do our invocation mantra, a little visualization, we'll sing, and then we'll dissolve that visualization. So it'll be the next, half hour or so of practice, really diving in, then we'll have a chance to check in. Feel free to continue moving, adjusting, tending to yourself as we go. We'll begin by just coming into our bodies exactly right now, exactly where we sit. Perhaps you notice where you feel your breath today, floating in the back of the nostrils or throat. Perhaps you notice your lungs gently expanding and releasing in your chest. Perhaps today you feel your breath all the way down in your belly. The skin on your stomach gently stretching and releasing as you fill and release. Wherever you notice your breath today, just take a second to sit with it exactly as it is. Feel the weight of your clothes against you, the temperature of the air around you. Notice your seat, the ground, the earth beneath you rising up to hold you. We'll move through a gentle box breath to open up our breath a little bit. We'll breathe in through the nose, hold our breath, breathe out through the mouth, then hold our breath again. We'll repeat this a few times with the drum, signifying inhaling and exhaling or holding. And the invitation is to really explore those pauses in between filling and emptying, right? In a a landscape of a world like this, a lot can feel like too much. And so we can practice holding that, filling up completely, holding that, relaxing the body around that full breath during the holding period, and then exhaling completely and holding that too, right? Practicing that empty state, trusting that our breath will come back. So I take a clearing breath in, let it all go. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Let your breath return to normal. You continue to settle into your body. We will move into our invocation mantra. There's a page for that in the zine. I think it's like third or fourth page. It's in the table of contents. And I'll put it in the chat as well. But it's just Om Ma Harriet Soha. That is our invocation mantra. This practice has been modeled off of Tibetan protector practices like Medicine Buddha or Chenrezig. Uh, and when you work with protector deities or deified ancestors, you sometimes have mantras or chants or songs to welcome them into the space. So this one, Om, the seed syllable, just opening up to the whole universe. Ma Harriet, her name, and then Soha, which is like Svaha or Soaka, depending on what language. So be it, or hail. So really, we are calling out to Mother Harriet in this moment and inviting her into our space, asking her for protection and wisdom and just a little witnessing and holding. So we'll move through this mantra. It repeats in a 4-line refrain, which molds in the kind of West African spirit and African American spiritual practice, make it a little gospel-y, really let it sink into you however it sees fit today, whether that's listening, singing, going back and forth between the two. Any is good. We might take a moment to just take a few deep breaths. And often deities are associated with colors. With Mother Harriet, we've been working a lot with moonlight. So you might let your eyes close or your gaze relax and take a moment just to visualize yourself, perhaps standing by a big river in the moonlight. You can feel the breeze gently rolling over your forearms, shins. Perhaps you hear the water rushing by. The moonlight dances through the leaves, gently dappling on your skin. And in that extension of light from the moon, which is really a bigger extension of light all the way from the sun, right? When we see moonlight, it's really just the sun bouncing off of the moon, reminding us, even at night, we're not alone. In that kind of extension, Ma Harriet starts to arise, and we welcome her with this chant. Om Ma Harriet Soha. 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 Om Ma Harriet Take a moment just to rest here. The sound of your own voice with the sound of our chanting. The sound waves are physical. We're literally filling up the space with our intention, with our prayer. You might take a moment to return to your riverbank. Visualize this river before you. You might feel the wet earth beneath your feet. The water slowly rushing by. In the moonlight, with our song, Ma Harriet has arisen. You might visualize this moonlight reaching out to caress our skin, to bathe us. Perhaps it soaks into our heart space. We imagine this, soft, glowing light slowly starting to emanate from within us, filling us up. Perhaps we feel our ancestors start to arise with Ma Harriet around us. We might imagine them literally or just feel, like warm bath water, their presence slowly filling up the space around us. Today, just inviting those ancestors who are ready to give us care, who are able and fully willing. And in this space, we take a moment to ask ourselves, what do I need? Do I believe I deserve it? Because I do. May I be bold enough to ask for help from those around me to be able to receive what I need, to discover what I need from within, to pull from this ancestral well. And with what you need, whatever your medicine in this moment is at the forefront of your mind, or if that feels too complex, just that feeling of yearning, connecting to that feeling of yearning to be free, of knowing true love and wishing it into the world, conjuring it into the world with our intention and action aligning. You might imagine yourself slowly walking into that river. The water starts to, you know, come up to the calves, the shins, the knees. Yes, it's dark, it's nighttime. We only have the light of the moon, but we have enough light. We have all we need. Perhaps we can trust this water, letting our feet rise as we lay back and gently let it carry us. Not worried about where we're going today, knowing there's no rocks that will hurt us or nothing to obstruct us. If we can just let ourselves float. We let the ancestors carry us. Rise up in the tide. This practice is born from the abolitionist lineage. And while today that is molded into various different things, at its core, it is one of deep conviction and traveling, right? The Underground Railroad. We open up a station here in the waters of our mind, in our hearts. We dare ourselves to move through the waters that scare us, emotionally, spiritually, materially, while knowing we can ask for help along the way. We can be fortified. We can be poured into as we pour out, as one of my teachers, Lama Rod, says a lot, rather than being the cup that, empties, then refills. What if we could be poured into as we pour out? And we'll move into our spiritual, that song we listened to earlier, Wade in the Water, in a moment, really inviting that energy. Ma Harriet we sing spirituals as a practice of remembrance, of connecting to our ancestors, of connecting to liberatory songs, work songs, and also as a remembrance of their function, one of their many functions of code, of messaging. Harriet would sing spirituals to folks in the night to convey different messages, and Wade in the Water is one that's said to be sung for folks to literally get into the water, let your scent be cleared. There are dogs, slave catchers, trackers. You need to go through the water, and asking somebody who may be, first, second generation away from being stolen via water, right? To go into a river is no small task. You have to really want to get free. So that's what we cultivate through this song. Am I ready to get free? Do I want it yet, even? Right? Wherever I am, let me look at myself clearly so that I can work with my conditions honestly, right? Not for judgment, just for where am I at? And so we'll move into Wade in the Water, just like the mantra again. Instead of inviting, just resting with, working with that energy, uh, and just moving through those 4 lines again. I'll start with the bell a few times and then we'll begin. Again, the invitation: listen, sing, move, dance, do whatever feels right. Sometimes on our bigger days in this session, we get a good dance party going on, even just on Zoom, so feel free. May we hear the voice of our ancestors in our own. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble these waters. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble these waters. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. God's gonna trouble these waters and hum. Send it to the earth. Hold it close. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble these waters. Move through your troubled waters. Invite your grief, your deep yearning into this space. May it be metabolized into action, into conviction, into connection. May our songs be heard not only by our ancestors who have, my ancestors who may have jumped from the slave ships into the oceans, choosing their freedom. May we sing through the waters. For those being bombed, starving, freezing, overheating, scared in a box in an alley. For our own suffering hearts, may we sing, may we cultivate this ability to hold it all, to not look away. And in that space, we've cultivated over the years of doing this space communal prayers. In the zine, it's on the page called the Conductor's Prayer, and I'll put it in the chat. Because this space, this grief, is meant to bring us back into, remembering what we know we deserve, into connecting with those deep desires that can get pushed away with the separation of living in these systems, right? And so we'll recite these together, or you can recite them with an inner voice in your heart. Whatever feels good, you can just listen and feel them, but with the intention that it is sent out to all beings, right? That we are clear about all beings getting free means we're going to have to really get free with all beings. Unseen, seen, here, now, the us that we feel, the them that we feel. It's going to take all of it. So you might take a position that feels like offering to you, whether that's palms together, hands out, or just connecting with your own body in some way. We'll take a nice deep breath in and out. And we'll recite together. May all beings be free. May those suffering experience liberation. May we hold each other through revolution. May we abolish everything that is not love. May we rebirth a free world. Ashe, Svaha, so be it. As we move into the closing of this practice, we might take a moment just to imagine ourselves floating in that river once more for a second. Whoever has shown up, whatever has shown up in this space, we extend a little gratitude for their witnessing, their holding, their protection. And we let them be on their way as well, right? We don't, deified ancestors, they've got stuff to do too. We thank them and invite them to continue on wherever they were, moving through their paths, their own underground railroads. We just dissolve this visualization, imagining the river, the landscape, whatever's arisen around you, dissolving into moonlight, collecting in the heart space and just washing away as we reemerge in our own settings, knowing that wherever we've gone was nowhere other than right here. We have access to anything that might feel inaccessible with the right avenues and help. And we just take a moment to dedicate the merit of this practice, any insights, connection, love generated and gained within our space to all beings. May all beings be free. May they be rid of the causes and conditions of suffering, and may they be abundantly comprised of the causes and conditions for liberation, joy, and ease. May it be so. And that's the ending of our practice today. Thank you so much for being with me here and being with me here digitally. I'm going to end the recording